Good morning, everybody. It is Joanne. I have from Manitoba, Canada. I haven't been on for a few days because, as some of you know, or if you were following me on the weekend, I was busy for 3 full days. Actually, the first day wasn't too bad. It was 9 hours. The second day was way over 12 hours, but I didn't stay up to the very end. I just needed to get to bed and get some sleep. And then yesterday was another 12 hours, but I gave in and had to lay down in the middle of the afternoon for an hour, which worked out awesome because that ran into their what they call their supper break. So for me, and I'd already had supper, so that was great. But anyway, in case you don't know who I am a mother of three, a grandmother of seven, all beautiful kids and grandchildren, which I love dearly, just like I know you do. And also, I'm a retired teacher of 25 years, a substitute for 10, and have been a wellness advocate with a company for 3 years. And it's almost 3 years actually in January, but I was introduced to the product before in December. So anyway, uh, I have to say that, oh my goodness, we woke up this morning and they predicted it yesterday, don't get me wrong, to minus 25 degrees Celsius. Now, that is cold. The only good thing going for us is we don't have any wind, at least not yet. That's not to say it's not going to come up. Now, they're only predicting this extreme cold weather that we've had so beautiful up to now is going to be like this for a couple of days. Then it's going to warm up a little bit. What that means, we don't know. Because what I have found when you live in Manitoba, never go by the weatherman because they're never right. So when you think you're prepared, you're not always. So if you're going to be going out, so my advice today is if you're going to be going out on the road for any reason, whether it's groceries, whether it's your mail, whether maybe a virtual doctor, well, no, it wouldn't be virtual, a doctor's appointment or meds or anything like that, make sure you have extra clothing in your car because your car hasn't had this type of cold weather for over, well, what would it be? 8 months. So yeah, the car's not going to be used to it, or the truck, or whatever it is you're doing. And if you had the opportunity, it would be awesome if you had plugged in your vehicle before you take off, like an hour or two, so it warms up the motor and everything. And if you happen to be one of the lucky ones that have command start, well, then you can start your vehicle 10, 15 minutes ahead to give it a chance to warm up. It's just because it needs to get the oil circulated through all the moving parts in our vehicle once we take off. And anyway, that's what I wanted to say. But that's not what I came on here for. But I just thought I'd share that. Now, I have a question for you today. What are you going to do? Those of you that are in this extreme cold weather of minus 25. But you know what? Um, I was talking to some friends this morning in Ontario. They're out golfing. Can you believe it? How is it possible? Two provinces over can have such a difference in temperatures. It's crazy. And of course, they have no snow. Well, we only have a dusting, and they're predicting we might get a little bit more tomorrow. I don't know. So, what are you going to do today? Well, I know I have to make a run into town for the mail. I have to mail out some things, and I will be coming back, but I don't know. I just might stay out there for 20 minutes just to enjoy the cold, crisp, fresh air. And then I'm coming in to hibernate, just like a lot of you. Now, some of you might be reading a book. Some of you might be doing laundry because it's Monday. Sometimes people have a certain schedule of doing laundry. For myself, I do laundry every day, whatever it is I need to do. And today happens to be sheet day. So we used to do it Saturdays, but because I've been tied up sometimes on the weekends, we switched it to Mondays now. So it's not a big deal. Anyway, then of course I'm going to be working on my computer, contacting people, making friends, adding support to whoever I can. You know, I just realized this morning that it's only 11 days till Christmas. Can you imagine where has this year gone? with COVID even. I mean, you'd think when we're at home so much or almost all the time, unless for necessity, that you'd wonder, oh, time's going to go long or whatever. But you know what? It hasn't. If you keep yourself busy in your home or around your home, it goes really quickly. And so for me, this past weekend was, I have to say, yes, it was long hours. Yes, I was tired by the end of the day, no doubt. But you know what? I still got up at 6 every morning, just like I would no matter what time I got to bed. But it was so inspiring. Listening to Eric War, he had 12 speakers, people who were coaches, people who had, and I have to say, what I noticed about 95% of them, that everybody came from a life, grew up in abusive situations, physically, mentally, sexually, poor, living out of a car, living, having no place to go, being put into foster care, uh, teachers, and that really bothered me. Teachers telling them that they wouldn't amount to anything, that they just go be a cashier or something like that. And I thought how downgrading that would be for someone to say that, because you never know what the true potential of a person or a child is. They have to grow, they have to get their skills, they have to develop. And that, is key, because I myself, even from teaching kids way, way back in early years, I've seen some of these kids turn into doctors, working in the hospitals, lab technicians, specialized areas, nurses. I don't have anyone that's a lawyer that I'm aware of. Lots of successful carpenters, plumbers. So I say, hey, the math skills must have helped to start with. But you know what? It's great because they've done something with their life. They've made a difference. Some went through school, college, university, whatever, it doesn't matter. Some have just worked and learned the skills from at home or with somebody else or did training under someone else to get what they needed to do this. And I say congratulations to every single one of them. I am so proud of you. And I just connected with another student. I saw his mother post a picture of his entire family and his name, and I just had to contact him in Messenger to see. And it was so nice because you know what? Over the years and distance, people, we all move apart. We all have our own lives. We all do our own things. And it was really nice because we had a lovely conversation through Messenger. So, great. And, sometimes people say to me, well, why are you doing this? Why are you taking these courses? Well, I have learned, because I can't go one on one anymore with our business. It was like that before, small groups, vendor shows, vendor events, wellness expos, that I've had to pivot, which I've mentioned before. But it's like I had to learn social media. And I have mentioned that before. I knew that there was a Facebook. I knew there was Instagram. Uh, Above that, I didn't even care. I didn't even look into it. I really did nothing. I just would go on occasionally and see what somebody posted. But with COVID came, I had to stop. I had to look. I had to refocus. I had to think about, first I was angry. I was upset. What am I going to do? And just like many of you are, some of you have lost your jobs. Some of you don't know how you're going to put food on the table. And I understand the worry, the anxiety that you're experiencing, that you're feeling, that you're going through. So many times people are looking for something different. And I thought, if I can reach out to people, share about my product, share about my company, which is not what I'm doing here today, but I'm giving you my reason, my why, because I want to help people. I want to make an impact on their life, whether it is physically, mentally, Spiritually, I can't do much because that's why you've got your Bible, you've got your minister, your priest, your rabbi, whatever it might be, or your own personal way of communicating with God. But the thing is this, we're all in the same boat. We are all having different trials and tribulations. There isn't, I don't think, one person that isn't suffering from what COVID has done. And many people are alone. Many people are dying now in our care homes. And in Manitoba, we're a red zone. We have been for a month and going to be another month. So it is serious because of the loss of life that has been going on. I only hope and pray that with all these precautions, washing, staying home, wearing masks, isolating, not going to other people's homes, and things like that is going to make a difference. Will we be able to stop COVID? I don't know. I'm not a medical person. I'm not on here to say yes or no. I only hope it slows it down because I do think we've got this for at least another year, if not longer. So for me, that's in a way, it's been like a blessing because I have been forced to learn to do something different, which I was very, very uncomfortable with. The first thing was doing Facebook Lives. I'm still not good at it. But you know what? At least I'm trying. And to me, that's important. I'm happy with myself for doing that because it took a lot of guts. I'm going to say it. It really did. I have been following Coach Livy, who has been an awesome person, who I will be interviewing Wednesday afternoon this week, 2 more days. And she has done amazing. She has come from no home, nothing, to being successful and has 4 small children as well. Now that couldn't have been easy. She ended up homeless, living out of a car, and there's such a story to her life. But you know what? She had faith, she had a connection with God, and she's persevered. She's been consistent and she gives. She gives from her heart. And you know, I think that's a lesson that all of us can learn. It doesn't have to be something big, it can be something small. I always say we can do kindness or be every single day in some way, some form or shape. Might be a letter, it might be a message, it might be a phone call. Because you know what? It's so nice to hear a human voice on the other end of the line, right? So when I'm reaching out and trying to get into groups, trying to encourage people because they're going through so much, I'm trying to be a support to them. So I've learned, or I'm learning, I have still got a long way to go. And this weekend with these speakers, they gave us, or gave me, there was 40,000 of us virtually. At the end of last night, towards the very end, Eric War had his wife take us through the entire setup at the back, behind the scenes, and of what they were doing. There was a group for this and the big TV screens and stuff. Can you imagine what it would be like to manipulate 40,000 people on camera? And some people, of course, bought the VIP ticket, which put them up into a certain category, but that's fine. I was just the general admission ticket, and I was happy with that because I could see every single thing. I could hear every single thing, and it wasn't recorded, unfortunately. But I had a surprise this morning when, I'll tell you about that in a minute. But anyway, regardless, I learned so much. I learned tips about Instagram. I learned tips about TikTok. I have never done TikTok. They strongly suggest as entrepreneurs, we need to do that. And one fellow, he was so crazy. And some of you may know him or heard of him. If not, go on to YouTube podcasts and look him up. Fraser Brooks. He told us what he used to do when he walked through an airport. And because a lot of us are afraid we can't do this, we can't sell, we can't talk to people, I don't have time, I don't have money. We can make all kinds of excuses. And what I've learned is your reason, your why has to be big enough to push you through all of those things. And that is my why. I want, as I said, I believe I can make a difference in people's lives. I believe I have a product that can help them. I believe that by my supporting them, encouraging them, being a friend to them, because sitting just at home watching TV or reading a book isn't doing it for me. Yeah, I have some business books that I haven't even got through all. I get through part of it, then I go to the next one. But you know what? Everybody does what they want for themselves. So I don't judge anybody. If that works for you, awesome. Maybe you're one of those people who are sewing those awesome masks and selling them for people, or maybe you're giving them away. Awesome. That's because that is what's so important. You're keeping busy. You're bringing value to somebody who's going to wear them. That's just one area. Maybe you're doing cooking shows on TV, showing them how to make something from scratch. Maybe you're, if you're not cooking, you could be, maybe you're have a kid, maybe you're helping homeschooling moms. Like there's so many people out there now because many schools are closed. I just heard in Ontario that they were closing, I think it's 141 schools going online starting today. Now, that is a huge, huge undertaking for the schools. But also, that means that if the kids are younger and they're at home, somebody's got to be there with them. So that means the parent isn't possibly able to work. Now, I do know in Toronto and surrounding areas, they're locking more and more down all of the time. But now, to show you the resiliency of some of them, those restaurants, there was a pizza place last night on the news. You may have seen it. If you didn't, that's okay. But I don't forget the name of the place. But they used to be able to have it where you could eat inside. Well, of course, they can't. It's shut down. So they have for the last month, they just do takeouts. And they are so busy because the owner said, I want to keep my employees employed. I want them to be able to have something for their families, and be able to put food on the table, clothes on their back, school supplies, whatever it's needed, right? Well, I thought how awesome of him because he went the extra mile and he's got it set up now and it's for takeouts. People phone it in, they come by, pick it up, and you should have saw the pizzas that they were making and going out. It was amazing. And I thought, that's pivoting. That's pivoting in COVID because he doesn't want to go down. He doesn't want to close his doors. And so he's looking for another angle. And in a way, I think a lot of restaurants can do that. Even our little place here in Plumas does that. It's takeout, certain hours only, but that's fine. It's better than nothing. And it helps those others and it gives her some support. So all I'm saying, it's not easy. And there's no one answer for anything, for anybody, for everybody. We're all human. We're all different. We all have different needs. We all have different expectations. But I've learned not to judge. I think that's really important. That's something maybe that's been really beneficial for me. I'm not so quick to judge anymore because I've learned I've known for a long time, don't get me wrong, but everybody thinks differently. And you will never, ever, ever, I don't care who you are, satisfy everybody. Just like the politicians are never going to satisfy everybody. This is a course that no one's ever been on before. So they're doing what they think. They're looking at other countries to see what's happening and the story goes on. And as a lot of you maybe are watching the news or your phones, your Facebook, whatever, you see it or the newspapers, right? So is COVID real? I don't know. I've heard so many conflicting opinions that sometimes I just go, oh my goodness, I don't know. The vaccine is out now in Winnipeg, and so they're apparently starting today. They are going to give people the shots. So it's going to be nurses, anybody in the health field is what I think that works in hospitals and care homes, and the patients there. So that's going to be the first round. And apparently Manitoba brought in 900. So that's enough for one shot for each person. And then I guess they wait and get more in. And from there, where they're going exactly, I don't know, but that's up to the individual. I mean, it's up to the government and it's up to the individual if they're going to take it or not. And whatever your decision is your decision. Nobody can tell you what to do. And that's how I feel. We all have our rights. And so if we choose not to take it, then that's our choice. And if something happens, it's our consequence. But you may have reasons that you don't want to take it, and that's fine. But what I'm saying is COVID has changed the entire world. It has shut down everything, right down to our churches. But I am so thankful that we have our services live streamed. And if you can't watch it on your computer, there's so many services on TV on Sunday that you can tune in. Yeah, it's not the same, but it's much, much better than nothing. Think back in early times when they didn't have churches. They did it in homes or they did it out in the open area, ground, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it was small gatherings, sometimes it was large gatherings. Well, in a way, we're kind of like that now. It's just that we have the technology to have it brought to us. And for that, I'm very grateful and thankful. And that's what I'm saying. So the tips I've learned, things, what they suggested, I am going to implement. And I think one thing now, knowing that COVID is around for at least another year, we can almost guarantee it, excuse me, if not longer, is that I am going to actually make a business plan. I'm actually going to sit down, plan out roughly for the year what I want to do, how I might try to obtain it, and it'll change as I go through. I'll do it by a year, then break it into quarters, break it into months, break it into weeks, and then break it into days. And you know what? I like that. It's a bit of a challenge. It's something different than what I've really ever done before. But I see the value of it and the importance of it. And something that Eric did with us. See, we had, after every session, we had questions to answer. And all your answers are recorded and you get that report, where you felt you needed improvement in, what and how, and what would you choose to do first, things like that. Because by the end of 3 days, your head's all full, right? So you can't remember everything. But it was lovely because we could just do a printout of it. So I did that. But at the end, the last hour, he asked us a question and told us to write a statement sentence down. And just a simple sentence, I am, or I will, depending what the question was. And so by doing that, by answering the questions, by giving yourself a number from 1 to 10, I have a start to work to do my business plan. It gave me a foundation. And I thought, how awesome. And then he said, you know what? You can just go on Google and say how to build a business plan and make it work for what you're in, what you're doing. I'm not corporate and I'll never be. But whatever points you can take out that help you, that is what is important. So anyway, I enjoyed those 3 days. I loved it. And I did buy the program for 2 months, in which month of January is going through transformation and a 2-day workshop as well, and a 2-day workshop in February. And then you can decide if you want to go further or not. But I mean, they came up with a plan and an offer, and this one was appealing to me and something I thought that would really benefit me and was more financially able to do. Then, because of that, at the very end, yes, I've posted it on my Facebook page. I've posted it on different groups for Vox Life. They offered, because they've already made a commitment that they will be doing a virtual again next year in 2021, December 3rd, 4th, and 5th for $97. Now, if you think about it, and anybody who has been in business knows that $97 for 3 full days of learning is nothing, because many times one day is $10,000 being coached by one specific coach. And Eric Worre is the king of all. And next, I would say, would be Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi and Les Brown. Some of these guys are, and you know what? They started at the bottom and they did multiple jobs and different things. And it's just amazing, because I've heard some of their stories before. But yeah, some of them were very touching. And Pete Vargas's was the most emotional one. What he went through with his family when he got married, with his family. Yeah, it's beautiful, actually. It was a tearjerker. I've heard it before, but somehow he went and gave more details than he'd ever done before. And he certainly is a man of faith. He believes, God is with him every step of the way. And you know what? That's another thing. I really feel that my faith has been strengthened in the last months, more so than it was. Yes, it was for a very long time. Then you get busy, you do this, you do that, and you sort of lose some things. But now I feel I'm right back on track. And so for me, that's another positive. So I don't know if this has even interested you, but for those of you who don't know me, or for those of you that do, maybe you just have learned a little bit more about me that I don't always share with people. Also, for those who are new, who have never heard me before, welcome. Thank you for watching now or replay, whichever it may be, or anyone else for that matter. My wish for you is happiness. Be kind to each other. And I know sometimes it's very difficult, especially if you're living in very abusive physical, social, mental situations. I understand that. I am so fortunate I never had to go through that. But I have to say, I admire those of you that have fought through it, who went through it, and have been an example, a model for your children, because that's what it's about. And so when and if I succeed in doing what I'm doing, I want this to be a legacy. I want to leave a legacy for my children and my grandchildren. I want them to know that grandma didn't stop. Grandma didn't just sit down, throw her hands up and say, what's the use? Why should I? Don't worry, I was tempted at the beginning. I thought, what am I doing? This is nuts. This is crazy. Like, what am I going to do? But you know what? It took me a couple of weeks. And once I got into it, I met some friends online. And you know, when you talk to one another, you support one another, you encourage one another. Some of us have become such awesome friends. And I would have never met them if it wouldn't have been through COVID. So I'm grateful. I am full of gratitude. Yes, I have time for our children. We can't go and see them, but we can talk. We talk, some of us, we text every day or we phone. Our son phones us almost every day. There's never a lack of that. Our grandchildren, we FaceTime. You can make time if you want to. It's where your priorities are. And my priorities are my family, my husband. I'm not a person to just sit in front of a TV. Ken loves it. He loves sports. And they've had some excellent Christmas movies, even though they're the old repeats of years and years. But it's nice. It's giving, he likes it, and he's into sports. Oh my goodness. I'm not in that anymore. I couldn't care less. But that's what he likes, and I'm good with it. And if not, he plays games on his phone. He has fun. That's what I mean. We're all individual, we're all different. And that's what life is. Where God made us different, God made us unique, and we all have our skills, the qualities that make us the person we are. And so I'd like to end this by saying, drop me a comment below this video and tell me what you're going to do today. Yeah, I don't care if you're going to sit and bake a cake, you're going to sit and read a book, you're going to watch TV. I don't care. Just drop me a comment. It's nice because then I can communicate back with you. You already heard everything I'm thinking of doing and you know what I'm doing. I got my work cut out for me here in the afternoon. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you for your time. God bless each and every one of you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and do what you can. Thanks. See you tomorrow.